Hello, cyclocross friends, and welcome back to Cyclocross Television. For this episode, we are at the Indy Cycloplex in Indianapolis, Indiana, for day 2 of the major Taylor Cross Cup. Brent Meyer was on site shooting footage of the elite races, and that's what we're going to be looking at. The 27-man field sprinted out of the blocks with Lange Twins specialized Cody Kaiser leading the pack through the early turns. Eric Brunner in the blue and red FCX Elite kit, SDG Muscle Monsters Drew Dillman, Eric Thompson in the yellow M Speedwax kit, and Jamie Driscoll from the Pivot Maxxis team in blue and red are also at the front. The race is held under dry conditions, but the track is still slick and slips and bobbles have plagued the field throughout the day. We rejoined the action with just over 3 laps to go and Driscoll and Brunner off the front. Dillman had been leading, but a crash moments before left him with a 5-second deficit that he had just erased. Right before the finishing straight is a set of planks and a series of off-camber turns. Brunner has been riding the planks all day long while Driscoll and Dillman have been running. Although it looks like he has the advantage by staying on the bike, watch how Brunner doesn't push it and take the lead, instead checking up and allowing Driscoll to continue at the front. A lap later and Brunner is flatted and loses the front group as he exchanges bikes. Dillman and Driscoll seize the opportunity and push the pace. But the combination of staying on the bike over the planks and good handling skills through the twists and turns before the finish has Brunner right back in contention 4 seconds back. Caleb Schwartz of Marian University Cycling is also right there. Heading back towards the finish, and we can see Brunner has almost made it back to the leading pair. By the time they hit the finish line and see 2 to go, we have a group of 3 at the front. Dillman leads it out with Driscoll in second and Brunner in third. Right off the tarmac, and Brunner makes a nice outside pass on Driscoll to move into second. Dillman keeps the pressure on as the leaders tackle the tricky hillside turns. Dillman has to go foot down around the next to final turn. Being in front allows him to maintain his lead by forcing Brunner to slow down. The accelerations out of every corner have left Driscoll a few seconds back. By the time the leaders see 1 to go, the race is between Brunner and Dillman with Driscoll falling off the pace. As the pair head for home, Dillman is in the lead and wants to control the race from the front. But Brunner knows he has an advantage at the planks if he can get around Dillman before the obstacle. Brunner goes all in and makes the pass pretty far out from the barriers. A risky move as he has to fend off a counterattack from Dillman, who knows he needs to get back around. Brunner puts in another dig right before the planks to make sure he can hold off Dillman. Brunner rides the planks cleanly and has a clear advantage as he enters the off-cambers. But as he takes a quick peek behind him, he sees that Dillman is not that easily dispatched and is closing back in. As they make it to the turn onto the tarmac, Dillman is right on Brunner's wheel. Onto the tarmac, Brunner goes wide and looks over his shoulder to see Dillman coming up on the inside. Brunner in the drops throws his bike as Dillman on the hoods does the same. And in a photo finish, Brunner takes the win by mere inches. Dillman earns second to go with his day 1 win, and Driscoll finishes third.
Eric Brunner, Eric, I think it's easy to answer this question, but how you doing?
Pretty smoked.
That was a tough 2 days of racing. Walk us through that race. You had a good start today, a little bit off, a little bit back to the front. At what point did you know this winning selection was going to be the spot you wanted to be?
I mean, I was in the front from early on, and then I just had a few mistakes that I had a little bobble over in the field on about midway through the race. I had a flat with 3 to go, and had to switch bikes and chase back on.
No kidding. Where did you get a flat tire?
On the climb.
So you had to ride that entire climb, come back. Was it fully flat or just softening easily?
Yeah, I had a full-on flat for about quarter lap, half a lap.
No kidding. So you were able to get back, get it in with 3 laps to go. Were you worried at any time that you were not going to get back up to the front of this bike race?
I really didn't know because Driscoll came around me and he saw that I had a flat, so I knew he was going to push it. Once I got the new bike, though, I was pretty confident.
Good. Walk us through that last lap. You and your other rider up there in the front, Dillman. What was going through your mind tactically? Were you thinking, I need to be in front of him in the barriers? We saw a late lap attack. What were you thinking that last lap?
So I pushed it a couple times early on in the lap, but I saw he was still pretty strong. We dropped Driscoll, and then I knew I was the only one hopping the barriers, so I just knew I had to get around him before that.
That was your tactic. Let me get in front and see if I can get the competitive advantage. Were you worried there on that sprint? That came down pretty close.
Yeah, he took the barriers a lot faster than I expected. He was still right on my wheel coming into the last straight, so I didn't know until the very end.
Absolutely awesome. So a UCI C2 Elite race. First win for a C2 in Elite race?
Yeah, that's my first Elite win.
Congratulations. We're going to see you on the podium. Eric Booner, his first Elite UCI C2 win on a day like today.